Hello students, this is experiment number 9 to study texture, pH, moisture content and water holding capacity of different soils. Here I have divided the whole experiment into 4 parts. The first part is 9.1. Its objective is to study the texture of different soil samples. Material required to do this experiment are soil samples. Here we will take roadside soil and garden soil. Then we need beakers, measuring cylinders, water, glass rod and weighing scale. Write the theory part of the experiment. Soil is the upper layer of earth which sustains plant life, and this layer of soil contains numerous living organisms along with dead remains of organic matter. This organic matter is called as humus. The physical characteristics of soil are mainly due to the size of soil particles. देखिए कौन कौन से particles soil में पाए जाते हैं. Soil में contain sand, silt and clay और उनका sizes देखिए कितना वेरी करता है. The size of sand particle is from 0.05 millimeter to 2.0 millimeter. Size of silt particles is from 0.002 millimeter to 0.05 millimeter and size of clay particles is below 0.002 millimeter. And the texture of soil depends upon the percentage of different particles present in it. Let us see the procedure involved. First, take 50 gram of soil sample and put it in a measuring cylinder. Then take water in the beaker and pour some water in measuring cylinder. इसको अच्छे से mix कर लीजिए. Shake the measuring cylinder to mix the sample. Soil particles को settle होने के लिए रख दीजिए. After this, record the thickness of the layers formed by different types of particles in the measuring cylinder. See the diagram. H1 is the thickness of sand, H2 is the thickness of silt and H3 is the thickness of clay. Also note the overall thickness of the sediment which is represented by capital H in the diagram. Formula used to calculate the percentage of different soil particle. It is equal to height of each layer of particle divided by entire height multiply by 100, or you can write H1 or H2 or H3 divided by capital H multiply by 100. See the diagrams. Draw these two diagrams in your practical notebook. Diagram A is for roadside soil and diagram B is for garden soil. Now write the observations in this table. Put all the values of both type of soil and calculate the relative percentage of sand, silt and clay, and finally write soil class. Check the results. Roadside soil is sandy soil as percentage of sand is more than silt and clay, while garden soil is loamy soil as percentage of sand, silt and clay are 43%, 39% and 18% respectively. Here sand and silt are in equal percentage approximately, and this soil is good for growth of plants. Next part is 9.2. Objective here is to study the moisture content of soil. Material required here are soil samples. Again we need roadside soil and garden soil. We require wire gauge, weighing scale, burner and crucible. Theory part of the experiment. The productive soil contains approximately 40% minerals जो parent rock से बनते हैं. It contains 10% organic matter जो dead और decay matter से बनता है. It contains 25% water and 25% of air. Now write the steps of procedure. Take 50 gram of soil sample in a crucible. Heat the crucible on a burner to dry the soil. क्रूसिबल को दोबारा वे कीजिए to record the weight of dry soil. Repeat this process for both samples of soil, roadside soil as well as for garden soil. Now, draw this diagram in your practical notebook. Write observations in this table and calculate the moisture content in both soil samples as done in the table for you. See the results. Moisture content of roadside soil is 10.5 gram and moisture content of garden soil is 25.4 gram. Third part of the experiment, 9.3. Its objective is to study the pH of different soil samples. Material required. We need following materials to do this experiment: soil samples, roadside and garden soil. We need funnel, filter paper, pH paper, distilled water and beaker. Write theory part of the experiment. The chemical properties of soil depends upon the presence of different nutrients and pH of soil. pH soil की बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट केमिकल प्रॉपर्टी होती है और प्लांट्स न्यूट्रल सॉइल में या फिर स्लाइटली एसिडिक सॉइल में बहुत अच्छे से ग्रो करते हैं. ऑल्सो pH of soil determines the types of organisms present in it. Now come to the procedure involved. Dissolve 1 tablespoon of soil in distilled water. इसके बाद इसको फिल्टर कर लीजिए इन टेस्ट ट्यूब्स एंड pH पेपर को डिप कीजिए दोनों सॉइल सॉल्यूशंस में, रोड साइड सॉइल सॉल्यूशन एंड गार्डन सॉइल सॉल्यूशन में, एंड फाइनली मैच द कलर ऑफ pH पेपर विथ कलर स्केल. Draw these diagrams in your practical notebook. Draw neat diagram with sharp pencil and then write your observations in the table given. pH of roadside soil is 7.0 as pH paper turns to green color and pH of garden soil is 6.0 as pH paper turns to yellow. ये वैल्यूज़ आपको pH पेपर को pH स्केल से मैच करने के बाद ही लिखनी है. Write these two values in the results section also. Experiment number 9.4. This is the last part of the experiment. Objective of the experiment is to study the water holding capacity of roadside soil and garden soil. Material required for experiment are soil samples. These two samples are roadside soil and garden soil. Then we need measuring cylinder, funnels, filter paper and balance. Theory part of the experiment. Water holding capacity of soil is the amount of water held by the capillary spaces of the soil after percolation of gravitational water into the deeper layers. Water is retained in the soil due to cohesion, adhesion and capillary action after replacement of air from soil. Now after this, write the formula used for calculating water holding capacity. It is equal to volume of water poured minus volume of water drained divided by volume of water poured and then multiply it by 100. Procedure to do this experiment. Take 2 funnels and set filter paper in them and then placed on measuring cylinder as shown in the diagram. Take 25 gram dried sample of each soil. रोड सॉइल को फनल ए में डालिए और गार्डन सॉइल को फनल बी में डालिए. नाउ पोर 25 ml ऑफ वाटर इन ईच फनल. कितना वाटर नीचे ड्रेन होकर आएगा इसका अमाउंट को रिकॉर्ड कर लीजिए. Put all these values in the table given and calculate the water holding capacity of each sample as done for you in the table. Then write results. Water holding capacity of roadside soil is 16% and water holding capacity of garden soil is 28%. So, garden soil can hold more water than roadside soil. Write precautions to be taken for doing the experiment. Soil samples should be separately packed and brought to the laboratory. Wash the glassware thoroughly and get it dried before starting the experiment. Weighing of soil should be done accurately. Record volume of collected water in measuring cylinder carefully. Match pH paper with pH scale only when it is dried completely. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for staying with me. Subscribe the channel to get the information about my new video. Thank you so much.